Season 8 Hungary. As everyone is dropping in the race right now. Still putting some things together. Pinning to people who haven't marked anything yet. Let's see if the stream came through correctly. Looking at this, it did. Going to send invites again. Wait, did Arctic actually mark anything? Oh yeah, Arctic went for yes. They're racing. Dan is racing. Robin isn't. Italiano is racing. MBMA is racing. Miesco is racing. Swifty is racing. Tichy is racing. And Trumpus is racing. So those guys get another invite. Hello Daniel, how's it going my friend? Checking the audio for a real quick. Yeah, audio works. It's always a good thing. Maybe most people are still practicing. Hungary isn't the most easy track. As now more people drop in. Should be able to get quite some people in here. 14 at least. It looks like the two reserves are the only two with a bad internet connection. I'm going to do another round of invites of Arctic. Kexel already let known that he is busy, is coming. Swifty. looks like Crexel may not be able to race tonight because his dad won't let his race. If this is everyone that showed up, it's going to be a horrible Grand Prix. With at least, actually no DNFs, because in the past, the past few races, only 8 people crossed the line. In Belgium even less. Louis, don't ready up, please. As it looks like that this is really to turn up. Which kinda sucks. I sincerely hope more people show up. We'll do the next round in 5 minutes, or in a minute. Swifty now is in. He doesn't want the next invite. Just said quite a lot of people said they will come, and we're now in this situation. Next round of invites. This time I'm actually also going to involve Benny and the other guys that didn't say anything. And Benny sure to really send me a friend invite or anything. So hopefully more people show up. Oh, Arctic actually joined in the time, that's good. Kexel got in, which is also nice. And we've got SietseBouma now, the second McLaren. Yeah, looks like this is it. I will have to make a massive list of people who said they would come and didn't show up. Swifty really shouldn't forget. Okay, Dan is coming, he's loading up now. Swifty has chosen his car, that's good. Real life and Alpine won, so maybe that's Swifty's lucky charm this race. It's 21. Everyone is in. Prexor is in, so we don't have to wait on him. With these 13 people, I think we can go. Yeah. And we have to ready up now. As we should be going now. Yeah, I hope there is less chaos now with only 13 drivers. Also, if you join during quali, I don't know if there's any of the drivers thinking about that, but if you join during quali, that's not allowed. I should say it. So I'll make that list now while I watch quali. Benny didn't mark, Rue didn't mark, and Mini didn't mark. I don't see anyone leaving the garages yet. And I think that's J-Ram, but Danel got out first. So we'll be watching Danel for now. On no telemetry. There we go. Nicer. Oh. Yeah. Those fast kinks are quite dangerous. Means we'll have to focus on Johnny. If Johnny was on a lap, Daniel will get reported for that. As Johnny now starts his lap, or J-Ram I should say, because Johnny isn't in here. Johnny is one of the people who will get a penalty point because he switched to not available like at 9 PM. As you can see, Johnny may get some traffic from, I think that's Swifty. Swifty moves out of the way like he should. So now there's nothing in the way anymore. Oh, and that was just a bit over the line and a bit too much. Trumpus is qualifying on mediums. And obviously fast to sector 2 because he's the only one to make it to sector 2. Let me actually check the chats. Yeah, no, don't worry about it, Danao. Like I said, if it was on a lap it will be a problem, but it wasn't on a lap. A 1:16.6 for Trumpus, and I think that's MPMA behind him. It is, and MBMA is now was invalidated. That explains it. Then we have Dan coming up. Dan does a 1:16.7, is close to his teammate, but not close enough. I think it's Nice and Molino. Oh, Nice and Molino did show up. Wait, when did he show up? When did Marlino show up? Alright, guess. I swear he didn't show up in the lobby. Does I think MBMA has crashed? Yes, he has. Does he still have a win? Yes, he has. And then we got Swifty invalidated. Scroll retired. Can we see what's up? Oh, he lost it out of turn 3. Hold on a bit, I'm talking to Bouma for a while. I'll do a recap of what happened when I'm back. Alright, so next to Arctic Crashing we have we have Ben Average Sap with 118.4 and invalidation. Swifty coming across the line now with a 118.3, he gets P5. The Haas behind him of Daniel is now on his lap. But before we look at that, we look at the Alpha of Ben Average Sap, invalidation. SietseBouma outlap. Is that Louis? It's Louis. It's literally, it's Louis. I've made a joke. Yes, he's now coming across. I'm sorry, X-Trace, we've already started. And Louis goes across the line. It's 178 on mediums. Right now he's right behind his teammate. Now we've got a good friend of JRAM invalidation. And Daniel actually had the fastest sector 2. As a Ferrari slows down for the Rebels. The yellow flags are not caused by a crash. Again, yellow flags not by crash. And then now across the line. It wasn't the best sector 3. And he splits the Rebels with 117.7. Now, Swifty, 10 seconds up. I don't know what happened there. NBA Majors cross the line. Then we have the two AlphaTauris. Kexel just finished the lap 120. That was no good and apparently an invalidation. SietseBouma is now on his lap. As I think both Rebels are on their rain laps. Oh no, Molino is on an out lap. Sorry, I had to check something with admins. Molino, in the meantime, has started his lap. Then we have Trumpers on an out lap with his teammate coming out of the pit lane. Oh, did Dan just spin it? Where's Dan? Ah, there's Dan. Oh, yeah, he spun it in the chicane. Or no? In the same place where he spun it before, but now on the different sides. And he has crashed out. Oh. At least you got a lap in, mate. At least you got a lap in. As we now have Italiano invalidated. Nice Marlino. Invalidated. Swifty crashed. Out of turn 1. Let's jump on board with Caxel and check what happened. Oh yeah, I have to invite X-Trace for a bit. I'll be right back. Let me check. Aero 5. All the way to the downside, X-Trace invite. Here we go. X-Trace should join. Italiano has crashed in the meantime. Oh boy. There's yellow flags now because he slows down. Then we have a whole lot of nothing. Followed by Trumpus invalidated and Dan on a faster lap. He's being followed by Louis on mediums, and behind him is Ben average Sap. So remember the sequence: Dan, Louis, Sap, because we're going through them in quick succession. To the final corner, takes quite some curb. He goes across the line and he does improve, but not by a lot. Now it's Louis across the line, goes to P5. Then Ben's average Sap, invalidation, no improvement. That was pretty quick. Then we have MBMA in the pits. Ketzel in the pits. J-Ram on an outlap. Molino on an outlap. I'm going to stick up with Sap because he's 6 tenths up. No validation yet. I think this is his first race, so it will be good to see what he can do here. Now coming through the final corners, no invalidation yet. From here you actually cannot invalidate unless you do something stupid. Taking a good late apex for the final corner. Good exit. Across the line and up to 5th. There's a good lap. Now we have Louis in the pits. Dan is going to the pit. J-Ram is going to finish this lap, of course. Yeah, J-Ram is staying out. Now taking the line, coming across the line, and he moves up to P7. Marlino has invalidated. Sap is going back to the pits after that lap, and Trumpus is on an out lap. And I think honestly, unless Marlino decides to do another lap, that Trumpus is the first one to set a lap again. As our good friend is in the pit lane again. Pretty good lap from Sap. As we now see Marlino speeding up. So I do think Marlino is going to set another lap. Never mind. Never mind. So Trumpus is the first one to go again. We will have extras for the race, so that's good. As Trumpus is 2/10 up his time, which already is the fastest by 3 thousandths to his teammate. So the Ferrari duo dominating the track here at Hungary today. As Trumpus is driving on edge as we're used from him. Everyone in the pit lane should go out in a moment so they can set the final laps. Makes good use of pit lane entry for a good line. Fast out. And an improvement to 15.6. He is over 1 second faster than everyone here. And he should be happy with it. As Marlino has given up. Then we have... Oh, that's MBMA. He starts his lap now. Kexel is on an fly-in, I think? I'm not sure about that. As Kexel is now coming to the line, it's not going to be the best time, but it is an improvement of 3/10, so good job. Now sticking with MPMA, he is just a bit faster than his last sector 1. And it will be interesting to see what he can do in sector 2. Sector 2 is just a sector where your line manager needs to be good, and he had the best line of everyone there. He's 4/10 up now. He may be able to split the two Ferraris to get second on the grid, and he could choose to do another lap. There he goes, he splits the two Ferraris. He's 2/10 slower than Trumpus, and he goes in. That was his final lap. J-Ram is going to start his final lap now. Coxel is going to come. No, he's staying out. How much fuel does this guy have? As he starts another lap. Will Sepp make it to start a new lap? If he does, that will be great for him. But he won't. The timer ticks down. He went out just a moment too late. Checkered flag has fallen for him. He comes across the line. And his quali is over. Now we have 3 drivers to look on. MBMA, J-Ram and Kexel. So you can see MBMA now making his way to the pit lane. As expected. He should look out to not interrupt J-Ram. Oh, J-Ram invalidated. Alright. So J-Ram 2 is going into the pit lane. What will Kexel do? Kexel does go for the line. So we're waiting for MBMA to get put in his pit box and we can finish. So we have Trumpus on pole, followed by MBMA. Then we have Dan and Arctic Squirrel on the second row. Ben, Average, Sap and Louis on the third row. Then we have J-Ram and Marlino. SietseBouma, and I didn't see the other guy. Oh, it's Daniel. Then we have Swifticott Drift and Kexo on the 6th row. And on the 7th row we have Italiano Rico, and he is accompanied by X-Trace, if X-Trace did get in, which I sure hope he did. As there we saw Ben Average Sepp shooting by. Oh, he's Dutch, he's my favorite. But yeah, we have SietseBouma and Louis starting on softs. Danel, Marlino, J-Ram, Sepp, Squirrel, Dan, MBMA and Trompus will be starting on softs. And Swifty, Kexo, Italiano and X-Trace will have a free tire choice. And with that, let's go to the race. Now obviously Hungary in the race, it's called the Monaco without walls. Overtaking is really difficult and the weather looks like it might rain. X-Trace is being put in the Mercedes, as you can see there. But don't get confused, his points will still be carried towards Williams. He was allowed to start on how to say it? He was allowed to start in a different car than the Williams because it was agreed so with Bouma. So there will be no penalty points awarded for that. Ferrari is looking to be the quickest right now, with Dan and Trumpers being right after each other. As we go into the formation lap, as you can see, oh, MBMA did not get the protocol and started late. Everyone behind him went alright. There's no contact yet. So other than MPMA dropping down a position, nothing bad. Oh, actually, Louis just messed up a little bit, but no problems there. We have the two AlphaTauris with a bit of a gap, and then all the way at the back we have X-Trace. Now I think the closest battles will be definitely Trompers, MBMA and Dan. And I think Sepp will be fighting with Arctic and Louis. As for the rest, Danel will probably be cutting through the field. And be followed by Italiano, and X-Trace I think will get maybe in the low 10s. But there are 35 laps to go. We'll see how it will develop. As you can see, everyone weaving like crazy. Everyone wants to get those tires up to a good temperature. As I think Trumpus will now be taken over by AI and move to his grid spot. And so is the rest. MBMA did get his position back, though it didn't really matter. But here you can now see everyone going to their grid spots. As X-Trace did fall a bit behind, he's on mediums. Let me actually... So like I said, Tichy and Louis on mediums, the rest of the top 10 in on softs. And then we have Swifty on softs. Fuck. We're waiting on Benefit. Kexo on mediums, Italiano on softs, and X-Trace on mediums. We're focusing on MBMA here, who has the insight on the next corner. AlphaTauri already pretty aggressive there. MBMA is having the inside, but he doesn't go on the inside. And I think Arctic is in a bit of a situation here. Where loses a few positions and there is yellow flags. Did something back there happen? Yes, Nice Molino fell down and Swifty crashed out. Kexo also having a bit of trouble. Ben Average Step managed to hold position as there's a virtual. Will it get turned to a full safety car? Probably not. Now it will stay as a virtual. Positional changes, like I said, Louis would jump up, Seb would overtake Squirrel but got taken by Louis. X-Trace went way up, Daniel went up, Ditchy stayed, Molino went down, J-Ram went down, Italiano Rico went up and Kexel went down, and Swifty went down because of a DNF. Now this virtual is taking quite long. And we're going, and Seb speeded. J-Ram and Kexel opted for the pit lane. J-Ram gets a 5 seconds penalty now, which he will serve during his second pit stop. And we're going again. Trompus is quick, but MBMA can be quick too. And so the two will be fighting it out. Further back we have Italiano fighting his reserve teammates. Oh, and Marlino spun it. No front wing on the Red Bull, and that will hurt. Meanwhile, MBMA, problems there. Yellow flags and a bit of a fall down. He's now fighting with Daniel. They're now getting the inside. They leave each other enough room. A very good battle here. Kexawa's roam wide. And Trompus sets the first good, let's say the first time of the race, because lap 1 was virtual. Digiboom gets overtaken by Italiano as Seb is in the pit. He's serving his drive-thru. And Marlino's in the pit, obviously. And Seb immediately cuts the pit lane. Advice, don't do that again. Daniel is still going at it. MBMA is catching up to Arctic Squirrel. Trompus has a 3-second gap to his teammate who's fighting Louis a bit. Louis obviously on the alternate strategy. Then we have Arctic Squirrel and MBMA. Daniel, X-Trace, Italiano, Teichi and Seb in the top 10. Now this battle here is a big one. 5 cars, really closely, as it looked like Italiano was losing it, but he had kept it. And we already have a first lapped car, it looks like. Kexel isn't lapped just yet. Daniel is being put under pressure from X-Trace, who is under pressure from Italiano. And SietseBouma is seeing this and he's like, I also want this. But NBA now has made the overtaking move on Arctic and he's climbing back up slowly, but he is. Now Daniel is defending heavily against X-Trace. If it was Lewis Hamilton, he would say Mazepin is holding me up. And now Teichi has officially joined the fight as MBMA is on his way to leave the fight. Now, as we can see, I think we'll see yellow flags or blue flags pop up for the AlphaTauri. This is not the race that Kexo had been wanted. He has been trying really hard to get behind his PlayStation, and then to get this race, it hurts. It really hurts. Meanwhile, Arctic stays position. Daniel looks like he has fought off the Mercedes a bit, as Italiano is feeling Tichy behind him. He's going for the pit lane. Why the early stop? Then again, I do not know the strategy, so might just be that this is normal. As soon as the others stay out, it probably isn't, but let's go. But with the AlphaTauri now off his back, X-Trace can focus more on attacking. SietseBouma has just been kicked out of the DRS party, with AlphaTauri being gone between him. Talking about AlphaTauri, he is fighting J-Ram as he comes out of the pit lane. As Daniel is now under heavy pressure from X-Trace. The mediums are slowly gaining on the softs now. So Louis, X-Trace, Tichy, they are all going to get some time. Obviously the virtual has helped a bit. Arctic is still not releasing P4, or he's still not covering it up, he's still trying to get it. SietseBouma not in DRS distance. Daniel not in DRS distance. Daniel Dan now in the pit. As Daniel gets overtaken, defends the position. And Daniel is still ahead, is he? The Mercedes goes on the grass, they touche a bit I think. But it looks done and dusted. Looks like Daniel has given up the position. He's looking for a place to overtake now. But there isn't really any, and he's losing out to the Mercedes. Or more so said, he's losing out to the mediums. As SietseBouma, also on mediums, is immediately creeping behind him. Coxel in the meantime has been lapped by the top two. MBMA and Arctic are still fighting strong. Where else are the battles? Nowhere really. Oh! I think that's Ben Average spinning. Yes, it was. Out of the chicane. It looks like his car is okay though, so he can continue on. Now Arctic is going at it with MBMA. MBM's tires are of course a bit down because of a spin in the chicane. Or maybe he just went off track and had to wait with rejoining. But it looks like Arctic is really on him now. And if you're MBMA, the pressure is not good. Because he obviously wants to get back to Trumpus and have that fight for the lead. And Arctic is looking at the podium place. As MBMA makes a mistake and Arctic says, "Thank you, I'll take that position." And now another small mistake and X-Trace is through. Will Daniel also get through? Yes, he will, because MBMA is going in the pits, and so is Daniel with a pretty late move for it. And neither of the two have penalties now. I want to see this pit stop battle actually, because I want to see if MBMA is going to get a win change. Yes, he is. So that's why he was losing time. MBMA is going on hard, Danel is on mediums. And Danel just got overtaken by Italiano. Fun fact, Danel said to Italiano they are enemies now. Whatever that means, I know as much as you guys do. But here we have McLaren versus Mercedes. Like I said, the mediums are now the superior tire. And Arctic, though he is on the podium right now, it isn't looking too good for him. And it really looks like it's going to rain later on the race. As there is a yellow flag, I think there was the AlphaTauri there. Yeah, there was, I think, Kexel spinning. Yes, it indeed was Kexel. DRS is open on the Mercedes. Obviously he's waiting a bit. Kexel has given up. Trompus was in the pit lane. So now Louis is in the lead. Ben Average Shep gets 3 seconds for track limits. Obviously no overtaken on start finish because of the retirement. It's back to green. And Arctic now in second will have to pit too soon. 8 lap old me softs are not holding up as well as thought. SietseBouma has just been following X-Trace the whole time. And who is that there? It's Trompus. He wants his lead back. And those new mediums are going to do something for him. Still no pit stop there on the McLaren side. But there is a pit stop on the Mercedes side. X-Trace on mediums pits earlier than Arctic on softs. So there we have Trompus now passing the McLaren. No fight there. There's new mediums for X-Trace. And now there will be problems for Arctic. Because old softs versus fresh new mediums, I don't think he will stand a chance. Especially not after Trompus just set the fastest first sector. Now Trompus, we've seen a lot from this guy. I think when I began in Belgium he had a very big lead. And lost it because of the rain. Lando Norris story. In Jeddah he got taken out lap 1 and finished with 10 seconds ahead. Zandvoort he didn't win, he was third, I think he was third. And now here obviously Arctic now goes into the pit lane and Trompus is in second now. With only 9 seconds to Louis, who is on very old mediums. So Trompus will most definitely overtake Louis somewhere around here. Unless it begins to rain and they have to go to Inters. Arctic in the meantime. Oh, what happened with Louis? What happened with Louis? He spun. He goes back on track. There's no damage, but he is being overtaken. He's ghosting through Trompus, but it doesn't stick. Trompus is ahead of the chicane. Trompus has retaken the lead after a spin from the Red Bull. But yeah, Arctic is now back behind X-Trace. And everyone is on mediums except for JRAM and MBMA, who are both on hards. JRAM just exited the pit lane. And yeah, Louis now knows that he's not going to catch up again. Stromper sets the fastest lap. He knows he lost that battle that time. There is still big chance that he fights back. Seb is fighting Marlino here on a pretty long distance. Dan is also wanting that second place, and he isn't too far from it, as the two guys between him and his teammates are on a lot older mediums. Obviously Dan was one of the first to bet. Yellows for J-Ram. No damage though. But as I was saying, the tire difference is especially crucial here in Sector 2, where penalties are easily picked up, and if you touch the grass just a bit too much, you're out of the session. As we've seen in qualifying with Daniel a bit. As Seb is now really close to Molino. Trompus is being fast as usual. And Dan is just outside of the DRS. But next lap he will have it, if those two mediums then stay out. As X-Trace is now in the pit lane. No, J-Ram has been lapped. Gaxella has now left the session. Trompers already a 3-second gap. Dan is now in the DRS of the McLaren. But also in the dirty air of the McLaren. And I think we have quite a amount of guys with number 2. Because Italiano is having number 2, I think. No, he wasn't. Dan didn't. Did Ben Average have it? I think Ben did also have number 2. Yeah, that's a number 2, and I swear one of the AlphaTauris had number 2 as well. But apart from that, the DRS now opens for the Ferrari. And he's really close behind the McLaren, and I think in turn 3 he's going for the move. So they're now going through the kink, that's turn 2. And they're really going at it. Obviously those old tires are not helping the McLaren driver. Meanwhile, I think Nice Molino is going to lose 10th at the final point. And Sector 1 has a yellow flag because Danel has spun. Here's another guy with the number 2. Danel is back on track. I don't see any damage, but the yellow flag has allowed Nice Molino to keep his position, as Seb was not allowed to overtake there. And he's not really happy about that. Sector 2 has a yellow flag, and I think MBMA just reset the track, seeing as how he jumped on the minimap. As the Russian flag is now under attack. Literally, the Haas with the Russian flag is under attack. How do I say it? They are literally in the formation of a Russian flag. Haas, Red Bull, Ferrari, or Alfa Romeo. Dan still hasn't managed to overtake Tichy in the meantime. I know I've said this a lot, but the weather might still switch around. That's why Tichy and Louis are still out. and the hard overtaking difficulty is really holding these guys up. As I think Nice Molino now cannot be saved by yellow flags and will probably be overtaken soon. Sepp knows it cannot be done here as Molino has spun himself out. And that's the full safety car. Too bad that SietseBouma and Louis just skipped the pit lane. Let's hope no one rams into the safety car this time, as the safety car makes it quite hard to not get hit. And yeah, Italiano goes into the pit, X-Trace goes into the pit, Arctic stays out. X-Trace now on hards, Italiano goes out on mediums. And BMA is now also on the, still on the hards. X-Trace now exits behind him. Ben Average Sepp goes in. Trumpus is not liking this because he had quite a gap, I think 6 seconds, and he now has to give that all back. But he will also get rid of the Red Bull and the McLaren behind him and have his teammates probably after him. Since if I was oh, he actually goes into the pit himself. Ferrari could be doing a double stack, there is the room for it. Actually, is that happening? There is a Ferrari double stack. So the Ferrari's double stack, Trumpus has already made a stop. And they are already for Dan. Maybe a bit slower stop, but nothing too bad. Arctic is really gaining places now. He has to return to position to Louis. But that doesn't matter because P3 is a pretty good spot to be in right now. Dan has actually lost the position by pitting. And JRAM is caught up in the middle of the grid. As Dan is also in the pit lane, he gets overtaken by Sepp obviously. So Sepp now doubling his points. But yeah, I think the problem for Titch is that he's going to get left out at the restart. And the main fight will remain as Louis and Trumpus. With Trumpus probably fitting another stop for Sofzin and Louis going to the end. As we'll have 1 or 2 more laps behind the safety car. I think this will actually, next lap will be the last time. As the Alfa Romeo and the Haas are catching up. Right now, Ferrari is the most performing car, which if we finish like this will get the most points. Mercedes, actually Haas will be the worst point scorer, followed by Alfa Romeo and Mercedes. Followed by I want to say has, but no, not has, because X-rays will be counted. Actually, Mercedes will be the least points, because X-rays will count as Williams. And Williams will be at the same level as AlphaTauri. Then obviously Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari. And so the teams without points will be, if we finish like this, Alpine, not AlphaTauri, Mercedes, safety car in this lap by the way. Red Bull will get points. Williams will get points if we finish like this. But anyway, that's just theory, because we are just halfway done with this race. Trumpers leaving it late, and now that Louis had to back off, he's gone. But Louis is on the better line, and there is green flags. Louis is immediately behind the Ferrari. Is he going for a move or not? He was kinda, but there is a bit of contact. Nothing too bad happening, and that's the... Dan got caught up in a crash with Tichy. What I think that happened was that Tichy spun and took Dan with him. But that's very unfortunate for the Ferrari, who is looking at the second place. Meanwhile, Louis is losing a tiny bit to Trumpus, as everyone is having problems with the Mercedes right now. He does not adhere to blue flags at all, and he is fighting like he belongs there. Just park up the side, mate. The thing is, Arctic can report him. Arctic can report him for getting in his way and blocking the view and stuff. Now he parks up a bit. I don't know what this guy is doing, mate. Anyway, I think Italiano is also looking for a move. Arctic obviously didn't pit, so is on all the tires. He's already let a 4-second gap fall in one lap. And he's being haunted by the AlphaTauri. Then just made it to the pit lane. Like I said, really unfortunate for him. He did really well, and then this happens. Seb gets another penalty. J-Ram finally let everyone through. And Louis is outside of DRS range. But obviously, Trumpus will either conserve his tires, or he will drive around on, what would it be, 15 lap of mediums? It would actually be using Louis' strategy against him, but seeing as he set the fastest lap, I do not think tire saving is in the business of Trumpus. As Italiano Rico from 13th on the grid now is 3rd. And MBMA, after that unfortunate spin, is back up to 4th. Arctic Squirrel really suffering here, as now 2 X-Trays is going behind him. MBMA getting a penalty. But Arctic didn't have the strongest strategy choices here. Some something happening back there. Yeah, Daniel and Ben Sepp are fighting. J-Ram wants to get involved, but obviously left car. And quite a mistake from Ben Average there. Does he have wind damage? As Trumpers just Trumpers dins and just obliterates the field. MBMA now defending against Arctic. Once Arctic loses a position, he does not let go of it. Yes, who's going ahead now? MBMA definitely got it. And X-Trace was going for the move. Louis is in a good spot. Reason is Trumpus is either having to slow down a lot or he's going to pit. Louis can push all he wants. Now, Trumpus has set 2 times the fastest lap, so I think he's going for the alternate pit stop, which surely he will still get P3 at least. But Louis, if Louis can defend, which is easy in Hungary, he can do it. As Sepp has lost his consistency, it looks like. Or not his consistency, his pace. Was there actually some kind of damage that he didn't notice and is now suffering? As there's a big DRS train. J-Ram is still trying to fight people, like, dude, get the fuck out of the way. Thank you. Arctic still going. I don't know why. But at this point he might as well pit for new mediums and drive the race out on it. This MBMA looked to make a tiny misjudgment and went a bit wide, but not a lot. No problems there. SietseBouma has left the session. Yeah, there was quite a heavy crash he had. Again, Dan was really unlucky in that position, as there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 car train from P4 to P8 and P10 in between. As there is quite some moves made, and Daniel and Ben Average Sepp, these two are having some kind of a rivalry, and now it went to contact with the ghosting Mercedes still in between them. X-Trace got a time penalty. Now Ben Average Sepp and X-Trace are having a distance between each other. Dan gets now 3 seconds time penalty. Dan spins. So I think Ben Average has secured that place. But he's also he's still in the battle, don't worry about it. Louis retired! It's a safety car because Louis crashed. Oh no! Oh! He went too wide. I think what happened was he went too wide out of that turn. I think that's turn 12, and it messed him up. Trumper's now going to pit for softs. Italiano decides to stay out. Everyone decides to stay out. This might be Trumper's best play. As we see here, he gets back in P4 behind a 30 lap old medium, 16 lap old soft hards, and 8 lap old mediums. This is really going to help his position. And you may ask yourself, should the rest have pitted too? And I think the answer to that is yes, they should. But yeah, really unfortunate for Louis, which, as I said, was in a really good position. This is all they needed to get back into the race. So Red Bull will not... Okay, this is insane. This guy, who's lapped, collided with someone who's 4 places ahead of him. And I hope for God's sake that Dan didn't get the penalty out of that, because that would just be messed up. If Johnny or J-Ram would just move out of the way the first moment, this wouldn't have happened. So J-Ram should learn what blue flags mean, really. Obviously Trompus is going to be the man to watch. Dan has just overtaken Danel. And so Danel will be starting last at the restart. Looking at how close the two are, safety car will probably come in this lap. And from that point onwards, Trompus has 9 laps left to overtake Italiano. But it would also be something if Italiano Rico managed to get a win in Zandvoort as a reserve, and then in the first race as a full-time driver immediately take another. It would really prove his worth, which he had already proven at this point, but still something to think about. Yes, the safety car will come in this lap. Then we see the message, the safety car breaks loose. The grid punches up even more, the McLaren goes off track. Let me check on Italiano. When will the AlphaTauri be going? Actually quite weird to see AlphaTauri Williams clan, as we now look from Rico's perspective as he goes across the line, green flags, and Trompus immediately goes for it. Ben Sapp immediately goes for it. J-Ram stays annoying as fuck and doesn't go out of the way. Strays is losing a place to Squirrel Arctic. He might ram white or something. Oh, as that was really close between Danel and Ben Average Sapp. J-Ram now has everyone left by. Trompus is really close to MBMA. And yeah, the moment Trompus went into the pits, I think Italiano already knew that he would not withhold. Within 1 lap, Trompus is already 1 guy up. Before turn 1, Trompus will have done MBMA in and will be hunting after Italiano. As those new softs have much better exit speed, he has to take the outside line, but that doesn't matter because, like I said before turn 1, it's now Trumpers versus Italiano. It looked like MBMA just let him by to save him the 2% tire wear. Trumpers obviously fast sector 1, yep. As behind them, X-Trace is having trouble with Daniel. And JRM still ignores the blue flags pretty much. Still keeping my eye on the dots beneath, by the way. As Daniel is now closing up to X-Trace. X-Trace obviously on older hearts. DRS should be enabled this lap. Or next lap. No, this lap. Trumpers a 1:18.0. I think that's literally a second faster than it last fastest lap. DRS open? No DRS yet. Next lap or at the end of this lap we'll have the first DRSs. X-Trace in the meantime being overtaken by Daniel. Then obviously two looking for revenge. As the marshal had the blue flag ready, which I do not understand really. Italiano is feeling the wear on the mediums, but he knows he has to hold up just a little bit longer. Trumpers and Italiano are the only ones who have not received any penalty so far. And just look at this in the middle, look at it. X-Trace lost to Arctic, which is remarkable because Arctic is on 17 lap old mediums. And right now Trumpers overtakes Italiano. I almost missed it, but here we see it. The Ferrari driver is back on top. Quick back to the back of the grid. Because basically this is now the back of the grid. Even though P5 is involved, which got just swapped to X-Trace. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Oh, these guys are going at it. And turn 5 is dangerous, then gets mixed up, and then gets the position of X-Trace after a move I would not have done. Holy Christ, that guy has balls. As we now have X-Trace trying to get the position back. Obviously penalties will still be applied, but that isn't as helpful for the Mercedes or the Williams Mercedes. This is just the Aston Martin scandal all over again, or Racing Point scandal. Williams just copied the Mercedes, but they accidentally copied the livery as well. But all seriously though, this guy, this beast, this animal is going at it like none other. We saw it in Jeddah where he got taken out on the first turn and fucking won by 10 seconds. We're seeing it here, the absolute speed this man has. I have no words for it. I have no words for how fast this guy is. It's insane. Just look at the gap he had created in only one lap. 2.6 seconds. Was it one lap? Yeah, I think it was one lap. Just unstoppable. Well, the rain stops him as we see in Belgium, but I'm really fucking impressed by him. As now here back in DRS country, Arctic on 20 lap olds mediums is still going strong. Denja got passed and now there's only two guys he's racing behind him, who are themselves having a battle. But Seb's mediums are now falling off a bit. Yeah, Squirrel's medium should have died 5 million years ago, but alright, he's the Checo. X-Race gets another penalty and that might place him in P8. Daniel has done pretty good race. MBMA, amazing recovery so far. But that's all in the shadow of this fucking man. It's no fair to the rest that he's in tier 5. Let me say it like that. Because what he is doing here, he's doing each freaking week. He dominates qualifying, he dominates the race. We'll see it next week because sprint weekend. I haven't mentioned that USA will be on a sprint weekend. In Belgium, he got in those 5 laps of sprint race, he got 7 seconds out of 5 laps. Now you can argue Belgium is the longest track on the grid, which I say true. But to put it in retrospective, he would have to gain 1.2 seconds each lap to have that gap. And that's absolutely insane. That's literally unfair. Now, I'm not being mean to Trumpers. The exact opposite. Like I said, I'm fucking impressed by him, but this pace, tier 4, tier 3, easily. Then again, they had to put people in different tiers. And Italiano now also has a penalty, which makes Trumpers the only guy without one. Meanwhile, Arctic lost another position. Seb thought, I want to roam wide. Gets 3 seconds for it, and yeah, Arctic is just going to fall down to 8th, but on penalties maybe. We'll see. But those mediums of him, they are quite dead right now. As the last lap is going to get started in a hot minute here. Ben Average is also suffering from old tires and the dirty air of the car ahead. He's also still being bugged by the fucking Mercedes behind him. Who, let's be real honest, he is keeping to the blue flags and he is actually keeping the pace up. It was just 2 pit stops that caused him to get lapped, which sealed the deal for him really with the safety cars. Now, can Seb finally manage it? Yes, he will overtake the McLaren, and Arctic just has lost that all. And that's X3's. X3's has crashed out. He will still get P8 on because he crashed out in the final lap, so he will get classified. But he will give up the potential places he had on Seb and Scroll. But just, I have to applaud this man. He's won in Jeddah in a miraculous way, and now he's fucking wiped the floor with everyone here. MBMA, amazing recovery. Italiano Rico, perfect race. Danel, good drive. Dan takes it on penalties. Amazing recovery from him after that crash. Arctic, amazing tire life. Seb, amazing, how do I say it? Amazing debut. Bit unlucky for a good friend, J-Ram. Because of those 2 pit stops he got lapped. But what a race. Yeah, like I said, amazing drive there now, really. But like I said, it all doesn't compare to the legend, the animal, the beast that is Trumpus. It's, by the way, an all Swedish podium from all different teams with all different engine suppliers. Okay. But yeah, this was just, like I said, X-Trace will get P8 on classification. J-Ram has showed that even if you're lapped you can get points. The penalties were insane. Trumpus was the only one without them, and he was 1 second faster with the fastest lap. Swifty didn't even get a lap in, he barely got a corner in. And just an amazing performance from everyone here. But I will have to look at some things regarding the availability. So I'll be doing that right now. I want to thank everyone here for watching, and I just hope the drivers will be ready for next week for the sprint weekend in the USA. Have a very nice evening, everyone.